A show based on the facts, honesty, the man, the myth, the legend. ChristiTutionalist Joseph M. Leonard.
Welcome to ChristiTutionalist Politics Podcast, aka CTP, in association with thelibertybeacon.com. And I am your host, Joseph M. Leonard, and that's Leonard. CTP is your no muss, no fuss, just me, you, and occasional guest type podcast. I really appreciate you tuning in. As Graham Norton would say, let's get on with the show. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on when you are tuning in to either watch on the BitChute, Brighteon, Rumble, or YouTube channel video behind the scenes, or the official 20 plus places the audio of ChristiTutionalist Politics is played audio only. If I sound a little different today, that is on purpose. This is going to be a very different episode. A somber in tone is what you're getting from me right now, because I am actually recording today. Let me be sure I check the calendar. Thursday, September the 5th. If you recall, Wednesday, September the 4th, there was another school shooting, this time in Winder, Georgia, at the Appalachia High School. What's going to be different about this episode is for updates between September 5th, when I'm recording this, and October the 5th, when the show will drop. Please, indeed, as I say, there's always a correlating in conjunction with thelibertybeacon.com piece. Please, indeed, beyond all other shows that I recommend you check that out, I really, really urge you to check it out, because there will be many updates that happen to the article between now, again, September 5th, and October 5th, when that will drop. And what will be very different today, I was on with Rick Walker and Brandon on Maverick News last night, October the 4th, the night of the shooting, when details were still kind of sketchy. Rather than record a show, thankfully, Rick Walker has given me permission to use the video. If you see any of the shows on behind the scenes, BitChute, Brighteon, Rumble, YouTube, at J Lerner Detroit channels, this is the episode to do that. I'm going to be editing in the video from last night's Maverick News show, the relevant part, into this show, rather than recording a whole new show. So this is going to be different. And also, I have to note, the fair use laws are not identical between the United States and Canada. In the Maverick News show, Rick puts in some cuts of the news for additional relation, what's going on out there that we're reacting to. Those will need to be edited out in my version of the show. So you can, though, go to Maverick News on Rumble, Freedom Reporters, Maverick News Freedom Reporters, and see the whole show there. It was like an hour and 15 minutes prior to my joining the show. So if you check it there, the title there will be about Justin Trudeau. But look for the Maverick News show from Wednesday, October the 4th, on the Maverick News Freedom Reporters channel on Rumble, or if you're used to going to my YouTube channel, click on the live That's where the stream events are, and you will see a majority of the show that I did indeed stream to YouTube that will be on my YouTube channel under the live tab for playback. Also, just as an FYI, I will be on with Rick again tonight, Thursday, the 5th of September, to talk New World Order, digital currency, Putin now looking to make the whole BRICS thing to supplant the US dollar, also involved in digital, and people unrecognizing they are useful idiots helping the government and the New World Order create the cashless society they've been dreaming about for a long time, not understanding that some point down the road, all those digital currencies are going to be socialized, will be taken over by the states and the New World Order. All you're doing is helping them to build the New World Order and the cashless society so that they can then see every single transaction that happens exchanging monetary value as it happens, tax every transaction, see every transaction if we are in a cashless society. But that is an aside. If you want to see that episode, again, Maverick News Freedom Reporters on Rumble channel, that will also be there. The portion of the show that I will be on with Rick, and I think Brandon will be back again tonight, will also be under my YouTube live tab. You can check out both the full Georgia shooting shows, also talking about Trudeau, actions there. He's as bad, if not worse, than Biden, and the Putin thing that we'll be discussing tonight. But are you ready? I'm going to say it. At any rate, yes, I'm laughing. Yes, indeed. At any rate, back to the point of this show. I'm using the Maverick News feed of this show so you will get and understand our immediate reactions the day the Georgia shooting happened. For additional relevance, additional updates, check out thelibertybeacon.com. Drops also Saturday, October the 5th. Will be titled School Shootings. There was one other thing. I did have a note because I did post early last night, Wednesday, September the 4th, on Before It's News, a version that has exclusive material for the Before It's News site alone, which I write for Before It's News under @JLeonardDetroit on Before It's News on thelibertybeacon.com. It's my full Joseph M. Leonard name. And I want to read the exclusive part to Before It's News because you won't see this at the Liberty Beacon part. Many try claim as a notion we need to eliminate guns. What do you want to bring back the wild, wild west? They'll ask. Well, yes, indeed I do. The reasons why are simple. Things then were not as portrayed in the spaghetti western flicks with a gunfight every 5 seconds and why, how, from which. Robert A. Heinlein, who I've talked about before in the Gods and Guns Redo episode, derived his "an armed society is a polite society" notion. That reality, opposed to the spaghetti westerns, dramatic, idiotic, in some cases, portrayals. In the Wild West, as they say, most open carried a weapon. You see that obviously in the spaghetti westerns. An occasional gunfight at high noon was actually rare, and need I say, going back to our nation's foundations, there were indeed duels between two consenting adults to settle grievances, not a threat nor danger to all other public thereat. Beyond that, the reality really was, as Heinlein stated, polite. And why? Simple. For our non-thinkers, feelings-based snowflakes, because if one was dumb enough to draw against an innocent, there were often then dozens plus other law-abiding carrying gun citizens to defend the innocent in question. People carrying, saving, lives. As I said in the God and Guns redo episode from earlier in the year, it would be only stupid and insane with a death wish, knowing so many other firearms would be targeting them and likely resulting in sure arrest on the spot. No way to escape with all those others with guns there to protect the innocent. If not instant death rain down upon them. There were, for those reasons, why one sheriff could police an entire county or territory, law-abiding gun carriers policing deputies, so to speak, the area for them while they may be away in another county or territory. These are simple understandings of reality compared to leftist delusion based on spaghetti Western movies and novels. They can't grasp reality. They're always living a fiction, a delusion. These are simple understandings of reality to or for thinkers, but sadly, most our fellow U.S. citizens lack any and all understanding of history, our own history, let alone anybody else's outside our nation. And while mentioning writers and lack of historical understanding, any common sense of folks today, likely in part where Ayn Rand got Atlas Shrugged content in part from, as I discuss in the Ford's news piece, many don't want history taught in U.S. schools, might learn from the Bradford colony early fail if the full truth taught. Therein ends the one part of Before It's News, school shootings by me, additional exclusive to Before It's News that won't be in the Liberty Beacon content. Without further delay, again, this is from Maverick News that I'm segueing to, recorded Wednesday, September 4th, the night that the Georgia shootings occurred. We will be uncertain, and if you recall my speculations and what ifs episode, there will be speculations involved because not all facts were in, obviously, at that point last night. So thank you for tuning in. Without further ado, over to Maverick News.
There's a million things that you could do to participate in democracy, but you can sit at home and bitch on TikTok or on YouTube all you want. It's not going to change things. You need to be out there in your community, and you need to be present.
Yeah, I say that all the time on my show. That's one of the reasons I created it. Supposedly 30 to 50 million Christians in the U.S. aren't even registered to vote, let alone actually be a delegate to the GOP to help affect change. Stop whining, get off your ass, and do things.
Joseph is actually here, Brendan, to talk about this school shooting in Georgia, and I think school shootings in general. Being the author of Terror Strikes, he has, a particular level of knowledge when it comes to extremism and threats to Western society, America in particular. So let's take a little break, and when we come back on the other side, we'll get into that discussion. Stay with us.
Maverick News. The world is watching.
Okay, Joseph, my chair just broke.
Uh-oh.
But I'm okay. I'm still here. I'm going to let you take the lead on this. Do you want to intro this?
At least you have a chair.
Coverage?
Yeah. I mean, things are, of course, still unfolding because it happened this morning. But there indeed was a school shooting. Apparently, a 14-year-old is in custody. I won't give his name. I won't give him the time of day in that publicity. So before the actual shooting, there was a call to police, but we don't have all the details, saying there would be school shootings at 5 schools today. Shortly thereafter, indeed, there was the one at Appalachia School in Winder, Georgia. As it stands now, 4 dead, 2 students, 2 teachers, 9 wounded. I would expect that number would go up. Now, we don't know if the phone threat was from the actual shooter or somebody else, or the shooter trying to create a diversion and spread resources thin at 5 locations while he only planned to do 1. There could be accomplices. So it's still an ongoing, unfolding investigation situation. Hopefully something else, the other shoe won't drop tomorrow at another school.
Okay, and are you concerned about a copycat or someone else involved in this? Is there a reason why you would be focused on maybe something happening tomorrow, possibly?
Well, indeed, if that phone threat of 5 different schools is legitimate, we don't know. He may have not necessarily copycats, but accomplices we don't know yet, who may have decided to not go through with it today, but could tomorrow at another school.
Okay, here's a clip from the news conference with police.
As the sheriff mentioned earlier,
So there's that.
Yeah, again, if they're going to be able to get any info, the investigation, of course, is ongoing. Did he leave a manifesto like other shooters have or not? Did he keep a diary that some hints might be in there? Will he give up accomplices if it is true he has others who will want to attack other schools, or will he admit? And if he does, can we believe he's a lone gunman and indeed that phone threat was just diversionary tactics or not?
And here's a clip from, I guess, inside the school.
The bodies, as the saying goes, weren't even cold before Cringe John Peon, the press secretary, took to the airwaves, and Camilla, extinction level event if she's elected here, went to the podiums to spew, "We got to confiscate guns," of course, ignoring that people are already breaking the gun laws that are on the books. And I dare say I call on Speaker of the House Johnson. GOP has control of our House of Representatives right now, but not the Senate, to put forth a bill like Cringe John Peon said, enough is enough. I want the Enough is Enough Act, which demands every school for every 750 students has 1 armed security guard or 2 on-site staffers legally carrying a weapon for every 700 students in every school in America. Because indeed, enough is enough with these gun-free slaughter zones. The criminals know they get to kill a bunch of people while they're waiting on police to arrive with a gun to put them down or otherwise stop them.
Here's a clip of a student from the school, and that from WPRI television, channel 12.
Yeah, and 4 is the death toll as of now. 9 wounded at hospital. That both those numbers, of course, could climb. I didn't even address yet. I'm glad you showed that clip. This young girl will have PTSD, trauma issues for the rest of her life because the left refuses to let us have armed guards to stop this stuff. Gun-free slaughter zones invite slaughter.
What do you think, Brendan?
I think we live in a really sick society that this stuff keeps happening. I'm pretty tired of it. I mean, I don't know what to say about this. I don't know. I definitely don't think whatever the Democrats put forward on this is going to fix anything.
No, of course not.
But this is a tale that isn't ending anytime soon. And this is just a marker for how sick this society is. This is what we're brewing.
Why are there really no pictures of this person? Is it because of the age and the laws on the U.S. side?
Yeah. He, the 14-year-old, they said, will be charged as an adult.
But not charged yet.
Correct. Until charged as an adult is a minor and therefore protected from the image being shown.
What about the name? Canada, you couldn't even name a young offender. Canadian laws.
Yeah, that one clip you ran, he did give the name. Again, I refuse to say it. Not
Yeah.
important. What is important is that this bastard be charged as an adult and duly convicted. I mean, the evidence will be overwhelming. Cameras from and in the school will show it. But the point being is this could stop if we put armed security at the schools. Like so many say, we have armed guards at banks. We have armed guards all kinds of places. But for whatever reason, the left refuse to protect our children. I call it the false choice of the left, right? Choice when it comes to murdering babies, but...
And with your research that you've done in the past into terrorism and shootings like this, is it your assertion that by naming a shooter, you're sort of giving them what they're looking for, which is publicity and possibly even fueling the possibility of copycats or more of this kind of activity?
I remember now, I have a meme, choice, because again, the left want choice only when it comes to murdering babies. You don't have a choice in the light bulb. You don't have the choice in what school you can send your kid to. So I call it, can't help our innocent children ever. That's the real choice, an acronym that the left provide.
Okay. Anything else that we need to focus on with regard to this story?
Something indeed needs to be done, but you do not get to just trash our Second Amendment and enact more unconstitutional gun laws that criminals and evil people like this SOB will find a way to get guns anyway. There are 350 million people in the United States. There are like 1 billion weapons. They don't follow the law now. You morons like Piglosi and Cringe John Peon, they're never going to follow the law. The only way to do it is to harden the target. They block legislation every time that would make this senseless tragedy less odds that it would happen, because these people that go to slaughter people would know that school is armed and likely not go and do that event. And also they oppose school choice. Let me send my kid to a school that I know actually will protect my school. But the public indoctrination factories, they want to be gun-free slaughter zones. And we're lucky the death toll is only 4, because statistically, the FBI stats say there is usually a 12 plus deaths in a gun-free slaughter zone. But where a business that allows people to be armed, there is only like 4 deaths on average, because the shooter is met with somebody who can stop them. Because when seconds count, the police are, as they say, minutes away, and more casualties usually rack up because of that.
Well, we just heard from Kamala Harris, and Brendan, as you were discussing with me just before we came on air.
Kamala.
Or online.
Yep.
Liz Cheney.
Oh,
yeah,
God.
That's a palate cleanser. Let's talk about that.
That idiot.
I guess Liz Cheney has come out to, endorse Kamala Harris? Does that make sense?
It would not surprise me. You can't call her a rhino, I tell my fellow Republicans, or a Sino, a conservative in name only. Because if you look at her voting record in Congress, she was solid with the Republican conservative constitutional platform. But she suffers TDS. There's no question. She is consumed by hate of Donald Trump. And also John McCain's son today has come out in support of Harris. And the reason he claims is the Arlington Cemetery dust up. But on the news, clip after clip is shown of John McCain walking through Arlington Cemetery in a campaign ad. This isn't principle.
All of the people that attended that explicitly came out with videos declaring that they invited Donald Trump to be there,
Yes.
and that Donald Trump was always very supportive of them, and that Donald
Yes.
Trump was always there for them, and that they wanted him there. Over 8 people came
Yeah.
out, and they all expressed their shame of the Biden-Harris administration, who never said a word to them, even though they did like the most disastrous military withdrawal that has ever been seen since the British withdrawal out of Detroit. Like, this hasn't been seen in that long. It's absolutely disgusting. It's at the end part of the video, Rick. Like, the audio is kind of crap.
Yeah, Liz Cheney, the McCains, they're all TDS sufferers, Trump
Here's-
derangement syndrome.
Republicans against Trump.
I think this is kind of a good thing. Nobody likes Liz Cheney. They voted her out. She ran for election. She failed. She's a loser. She lost. She lost big time. I don't know anybody in the Republican circle that goes, that Liz Cheney is a God-fearing conservative. We love her. Nobody likes Liz Cheney.
No. And
And she-
again, her voting record was good, but it's just TDS consumes her. And I'm scrolling through YouTube now. I bet they probably pulled it for that McCain ad of him walking through Arlington Cemetery. It's duplicitous. It's double standards. It's just a BS reason for them in their TDS to promote Harris rather than Trump. Tons of video of indeed Trump at Arlington, but now, of course, that McCain ad mysteriously missing.
I'm at a loss for words. I just think this is hilarious. Liz Cheney is a bogus nobody.
Yeah.
She's been sticking her
came-
nose where it don't belong anyway.
I just came across this guy's video. I'm not sure exactly what it is or what to make of it, but I'm going to run it because it looks interesting to me and it's got something to do with what we're talking about. And so it's a little bit of a risk here because I haven't vetted this before, but let's let this guy say something. He's got a point.
Yeah, the Hitlery and the hot sauce and the purse reference here. Yeah, Kamala, she was in Detroit the other day. All of a sudden, a black Southern accent? Excuse me? It's all pandering. It's all bull. It's ridiculous.
Tucker Carlson touched on this really well before his exodus at Fox News. He says, what is with all of these people suddenly mimicking Dr. Martin Luther King? Like, out of nowhere. This all happened like last winter. This all started happening. AOC started doing this. All these other people. It's like, it's crazy. AOC's from New York, and she goes up on stage being like, I'm gonna be the great redeemer. We're going to give everybody a free stuff. I have a dream.
Party that hates God. The anti-Semitic party hates Jews and their maker are all of a sudden, preachers on stage and black evangelics. Give me a break. What a farce.
Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Hi, my name is Ed Bondarenka, and I host Your American Heritage on Saturdays at 2 in the afternoon on this station. Your American Heritage is a show about the struggle we find ourselves in and how to react to it in the light of our biblical and American heritage. Listen to it while you're working around the house, the garage, cleaning the guns, walking the dog, driving, or just lazing around. Join me at 2 o'clock Saturdays here on Wham Radio, 1600 AM, 92.7 FM.
God bless America.
Well, I think that guy's video was pretty funny. And
Yeah,
yet
it was
pretty much
spot on.
spot on because I've seen her speak and she just kind of falls into
And did you notice
this
that
accent, you know?
She wasn't scripted. She wasn't scripted, and her act just dropped back down to bumbling Mary there.
Word salad Kamala, yeah. Her word salads when she goes off script. That's why they only have her at rallies with a teleprompter. She's done one interview in 40 whatever days. It was clear she would be the nominee. They have to hide her like they do Biden because people who actually know what she's about can't stand her. There are no policy positions on her website for you to look up. It's the same teleprompter speech with the location name changed. Lack of substance.
And I find it hilariously amusing that everybody is now talking about in the mainstream media that, oh, elections aren't won on policy decisions at all. It's all about the vibes, man. It's all about the good vibes. You need the good vibes in the election. That's what people are going to vote for. The good vibes, man.
Yep. I forget if it was Fox or Newsmax, but they had a man in the street and, of course, interviewing one person. Why do you support Kamala? Oh, good vibes. Literally, that came out of the person's mouth. Couldn't name one policy, accomplishment, or one thing she stands for. It's the good vibes, style over substance, garbage.
Here's her website that you mentioned. So
don't
miss out. Stay informed by signing up for notifications from Team Harris. Well, later. And then you can right up front, they're looking for the cash. Close that. Oh, and they still have more buttons to push for donations of like $1,000 or even more by clicking other. 25, 47, 100, 250, 1,000 or other. Let's win this. Join the campaign. Contact us. Donate to the Harris Victory Fund. Donate by mail. Donate, and donate now. Donate often.
Not one policy thing on that website. Not one.
They have less policies on there than the PPC.
Because they know their policy has been failure. You think Bidenomics is bad? Wait till Communomics under Kamala happens.
There's nothing on here at all of any substance. Just a bio of each candidate. It says here's take action.
Donate,
win.
Yeah.
So they just collect your email and contact info. Then you can go to the store to buy your merch.
More about donating.
Look, they got the Barack Obama. Yes, she can. Yes, we can.
That's what it's about. Before with Obama and Biden, it was hope and change lies. The style is Harris and Walls, dope and deranged. Just don't expect any policy. If you go to Trump's website, Trump 47, all laid out, all the policy items.
Let's take a look at Trump's website.
Yeah, they can't talk substance because, like Reagan said, are you better off than you were 4 years ago? That answer is no, unless if you're a ruling elitist on the inside to getting the stock tips.
Let's see if he has a fully stocked store to buy stuff.
Yeah, his buttons only go up to $500. They don't even ask for $1,000. I guess they're less greedy or less needy. They're not after me, they're after you. I'm just a standing in the way. Oh, the Kamala accent came and infected me on the Donald Trump website. Sacrilege! So there's his platform. Here's what he stands for.
All laid out. And it is not Project 2025 that the left, we talked about this on the two of the convention nights I was with you. Project 2025 is not Trump's platform. That is his platform. But the left continue to lie over and over and over.
Yeah, we did kind of go over this, but the planks in his platform are seal the border, carry out deportation, the largest in American history. Wow. That's number 2. End inflation, make America the dominant energy producer in the world, stop outsourcing, bring back jobs, large tax cuts for workers, no tax on tips, which Kamala stole.
Yep.
Defend the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, fundamental freedoms, prevent World War III, restore peace in Europe and in the Middle East, and build a great Iron Dome missile defense shield over the entire country, end the weaponization of government against the people, stop migrant crime epidemic, rebuild cities, that's infrastructure, strengthen and modernize the military, keep the U.S. dollar as the world's reserve currency. I'm for that. Fight for and protect Social Security and Medicare with no cuts. Cancel the electric vehicle mandate. I'm not opposed to that at all. Cut federal funding for any school pushing critical race theory. I think that might be okay. Keep men out of women's sports. Deport pro-Hamas radicals and make our college campuses safe and patriotic again. I think that sounds pretty cool. Secure our elections, including same-day voting, voter identification, paper ballots, and proof of citizenship. And number 20, unite our country by bringing it to new and record levels of success.
And RFK Jr., Tulsi Gabbard Shanahan, the VP for RFK Jr., on board to bring things. And Kamala lies now. She wants to secure the border. The Senate bill she keeps lying about is an amnesty bill. It is not about securing the border. It's about giving amnesty to the 20 million people they've let in over the last 3 years because they want their vote.
And what do you think of the coalition? Unity ticket now, I guess. Is that what they're calling it? Between RFK Jr. and Trump. Brendan, what do you think?
I think it's worth taking a look at Trump's store. Talk about identity politics.
You want to make America great again hat.
I wouldn't mind it. However, I'm a little grossed out. He's playing his own identity politics here. He's got women for Trump. He's got blacks for Trump. He's got
Glad
Latinos
you brought
for Trump.
that up, because I say over and over, I may not like identity politics. You may not either. But Abraham Lincoln didn't get to say Gettysburg, Schmettysburg. Just look, sometimes the enemy creates a battleground you must fight on. And identity politics is one of those. And J.D. Vance as VP is an identity politic pit to some degree without him being female or black. His hillbilly elegy plays to hillbillies and rednecks that the left call flyover people. So it's an identity politic pick to some degree. As I say, we must fight on that battleground whether we like it or not. You don't get to just surrender.
$40 US for a Make America Great Again hat? 40
What is that, like 150 Canadian?
Just about. In fact, I'll look it up. I'll tell you exactly.
Yeah, I'm teasing. It can't be that bad.
$54.03. Does that include shipping?
No, probably not. It probably doesn't ship it to Canada either.
I don't send my books when I personal sales on terrorstrikes.info. I will send free shipping in the U.S. territories. To ship a book to Canada costs more than the book cost is.
I want to get a Black Americans for Trump hat. That's what I want.
Yeah, $47 total US for a hat.
He's capitalizing on it. I bet people are buying it.
Hey, you know what?
It's a fundraiser, so it's not just a hat.
But we are free market capitalists. The left, hypocrites that want communism rather than capitalism, want to shut down capitalism. So they're hypocritical. I'm not, because I'm for free markets and capitalism. I'm all for him selling whatever he can for as much as he can. But the left, again, their product site, they're anti-capitalist. But yet they want you to buy stuff to fund them. They're hypocrites. They're liars. They're buffoons.
Oh, wow. So let's look at, do a quick comparison here. So it's $32 for the Harris Waltz baseball cap. You could only buy 1 yard sign for $20 on there. On the Trump site, you could buy, I think, a pack of 48 signs, it said. How many signs? What was it? 48
That would be a big number.
48 signs for, hold up here.
That would be expensive shipping, because those signs aren't expensive. If they're including the wire to go with them, then that's where the expense comes in.
And most of the shirts on here are like 36 US, 30, some of them a little less, but most are around $35, $36. But you know what we have? We have Trump t-shirts, and they're for a donation of $30 or more Canadian. I'd be happy to send you one of these.
He's a fighter. He's a survivor. President Trump, defiant, strong. He is determined to make America great again. Pay tribute to the 45th President of the United States with this collectible t-shirt from the Maverick News Memorable Moments collection. Even a would-be assassin's bullet could not stop him. Instead, he emerged with his fist in the air ready to fight. For freedom. Get your Trump Fighting for Freedom t-shirt with any donation of $30 or more to Maverick News. There are 2 iconic artistic designs to choose from. But there is only one way to get these. Donate at freedomreporters.com. Support free speech. Free media. Support Maverick News. Call 1-866-248-1490 or order online at supergeeks.tv.
Gotta love that black and red. That is sharp. You can find yourself looking fantastic. Brought to you by Maverick News. You can look just as fantastic as we do, except I'm not wearing one right now.
Right. Well, again, he's not a hypocrite about it. He's got billions. He doesn't care if others also make billions. He's pro-capitalism, unlike the lefty communists.
But hey, if you can't afford a shirt or don't want to donate $30, that's okay. I don't spend a lot of money on things either. I'm quite frugal. You could also help us for free just by slapping the like button. Give it a smack.
Like, share, subscribe, like a parrot on every YouTube video, right? Like, share, subscribe.
Yes,
like, share, subscribe. I do it on all my videos now, too. So I hate YouTube with every video, indeed. Like, share, subscribe at the end, but I'm doing it now, too.
Yeah, give us the thumbs up. That helps with the algorithm. It drives the censors crazy. They're like, oh my God, nothing we can do. We can't shadow ban that channel. Too many thumbs up. It's hopeless. We can't shut it down. Maverick News is just too popular. Joseph and Brendan were on the show, and it just went viral.
Bam!
Thank you, everybody, for supporting us. I do appreciate it. We do appreciate it. Helps us out a lot. Well, guys, I think we've kind of hit on all the major topics tonight. I was going to talk a little bit about the war in Ukraine, but as I look, really there haven't, just to bring you up to date, we've not had many major developments since our discussion last night.
There was.
What was that?
A Russian missile struck another apartment building full of civilians.
Oh, my. Well, is this the one I mentioned last night?
I'm not sure. I'm just hearing about it today. It could have indeed been still from last night that we're talking about it still today. But yeah, unlike that, the Ukrainians struck a bunch of innocent people on the beach, which we debunked weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
This, collateral damage. Let me speak honestly and openly without my, pro-Ukrainian people. I don't support Zelensky. I support the Ukrainian people who've been attacked again, like umpteenth millionth time over the last 100 years of history. Russia and Soviets have tried to exploit Ukraine as a breadbasket to feed Russians. There are too many of these incidents to be accidental, coincidental collateral damage. They've got to be targeting these places.
Well, since it's on the table, do you want to comment, Brendan, before we sign off tonight?
Make love, not war. Stop it. Just stop it. Cut it out.
I wish that were possible, my friend. But the enemy has a say in this. Russia invaded unprovoked. I don't care about your NATO encroachment BS argument, parroting Putin talking points. They invaded a sovereign nation unprovoked, period. Again, 100 years of history. See the movie Mr. Jones. If you are that clueless about history, see the movie Mr. Jones with Norton in it and learn something.
Yeah. Well, we spoke a lot about Ukraine this week, so I'm not going to get deep into this tonight. I am following what's going on along the front lines inside Ukraine itself pretty closely, because Russian forces made some pretty substantial gains there over a number of days, several days. It looks like that is slowing at the moment. But over in Kursk, we're seeing troops there trying to dig in. Zelensky saying that they're now going to stay there indefinitely. That's his word. At least that's what he's saying publicly.
They've got to have that as a bargaining chip. I
suppose the concerning thing for me is I did see video today of the results of fighting over there, and graphic images that I won't share with you here. Very upsetting. I don't like to see images like that. I think if anybody has any humanity left in them, they don't like to see images like that. And I wish the fighting could stop. But what we're seeing in Kursk is the two sides really jockeying for position. I think those Ukrainian troops inside Russian territory, they've scored big points on the public relations, even propaganda spectrum, but those troops are in danger. They're very vulnerable in there, and they have to be very careful. I think there's a real danger that they could end up being flanked and possibly slaughtered. And there is lots of information coming in here that is telling me that indeed the Russians appear to be making efforts to try to surround those Ukrainian troops.
I was for the push, but I also, as I said on the other show, real leaders studied the art of war by Sun Tzu. Dumb leaders, like a Baidung, studied the art of stupid by Sun Burn. They've got to pull them back so they can keep the supply lines intact. But they do finally into Russian territory because you have to take it to your enemy.
The offense in this case appears to maybe have been a good defense. The question is, can they hold that territory as Zelensky says they're going to, or was he just throwing that out there as a ruse, or will they actually end up retreating? I'm very nervous about what I'm seeing going on in there right now.
I think they do need to pull back a bit to defensible lines and lines that can be maintained to resupply them. Otherwise, you're right. They'll be surrounded, and you just gave POWs to the other side.
Or corpses. Well, final thought, Brendan.
Canada has some really exciting things coming at us soon. I'm really happy to kind of hear the news today that there's some kind of light at the end of the tunnel, quite possibly. So you're going to want to stay tuned to Maverick News to make sure that we get the full scoop on this and everything that's going to happen. I'm going to be here. Rick's going to be there. I don't know about Joe because Joe doesn't know nothing about Canuckistan. However... Thanks for watching. It's been a pleasure being here with everybody. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah. And Joseph, very briefly, give us your final thoughts for the evening. Quick.
Indeed. Stay tuned to Maverick News for all these continuing facts as they unfold.
Gentlemen, thank you so much for being here tonight and helping me entertain the audience and hopefully inform as well. And that effort will continue along with our fight for freedom tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on the Maverick News Channel. Love you guys. Catch you on the flip side.
This has been a Maverick Multimedia production.
So there you have it. Excerpt of Maverick News from Wednesday night, September the 4th, discussing the Georgia shooting and some other things. For those of you who saw it on video, you will have noticed obvious segues or segments cut out. I had to cut out pieces that Rick was able to show on his show in Canada of like the Harris rally. What else? The guy he found randomly on the internet mocking Kamala. Bits of the press conference of the police in the Georgia shooting area. Those were cut out. I had to put the Maverick logo up over other things, like when we were showing the Kamala Harris /AWOL's website, as well as the Trump website, to avoid any issues whatsoever of copyright. You can, again, go to Rumble, Maverick News Freedom Reporters page and see the whole show with those portions that were cut out if you're interested in what was said. As to the reaction parts that you heard of me, Rick, and Brandon after the segment was shown, again, cut out on audio. Also, you'll probably notice some obvious strange segues. And again, that is because portions of the Maverick News Show had to be cut for me to be able to air it. Go to Rumble or you could go to my YouTube channel under live. The portion of the show that I was on is indeed under my live tab, the streaming feeds. There you can catch it. Thank you for tuning in for this. Indeed, it was rather odd. I apologize to you looking on video, but if, again, there was any show you should see of mine on a behind-the-scenes video, this is it, even though the obvious cuts of segments that were removed and the Maverick logo placed above it to hide some things that I couldn't show on my channel or have bleed over into the audio of my show because I don't have the copyright permissions. Again, thank you for tuning in. Take care. This concludes Season 2, Episode 68 on the ChristiTutionalist politics side of things. It will be called School Shootings and More, because we did indeed go into more than just the school shooting on the show. The LibertyBeacon.com piece, School Shootings, will be just regarding the Georgia shooting. And again, of all the shows I've ever presented, this is one that you really need to go to thelibertybeacon.com and look up Joseph M. Leonard school shootings piece to read specifics that will be able to be added after this date, as again, this recording was last night, Wednesday, September the 4th, and I'm recording these follow-up segments on Thursday, September the 5th for the show, and the article dropping October 5th. Thank you all. Take care. God bless. Thank you for having tuned in for ChristiTutionalist Politics Show. If you haven't already, please check out my primary internationally available book, Terror Strike, coming soon to a city near you. Available anywhere books are sold. If you have locally run bookstores still near you, they can order it for you, or autographed copies are available online direct from me via terrorstrikes.info/shop. Be sure to check out more about today's discussion at thelibertybeacon.com, where my articles drop every Saturday. And let me remind, over time, the fancy high production items will come. But for now, for starters, it's just you as a very appreciated listener by me. All substance, no fluff, no fancy high production intro or insert, at least yet, just straight to key discussion point. A show that looks at a variety of topics, mostly politics, through a Christian U.S. constitutionalist lens. So again, thank you from the bottom of my heart. Take care. God bless. Like and subscribe to ChristiTutionalist Politics Podcast and share episodes. We need your help to grow the show. Just wanted to give a brief shout out and thank you to all the folks on iHeartRadio and Player FM for being 2 in the top 3 platforms that my show, ChristiTutionalist Politics, is most often listened to. So thank you all. Take care. God bless.
It is a myth that terrorism stopped during COVID. Unfortunately, mainstream media opted to prioritize pandemic hysteria over promoting all news. Terrorism continues. Simply hoping that it doesn't affect you is not a strategy. The new book, Terror Strikes, coming soon to a city near you, featured on The Author Show, is now available in paperback from bookstores, online, or as an ebook exclusively through Amazon Kindle. Terror Strikes, coming soon to a city near you by Joseph M. Leonard. Order today.